Hello everyone, I am your English teacher Suchitra Sakya. As I said before, I have made these videos for you, especially those who have missed travelogue writing, which was my first class, and some people have missed those classes, so I prepared these videos. I have divided travelogue writing into two parts. In part one, I'll be discussing what is travelogue and how to write it. And in second part, some do's and don'ts, what to write, what not to write, how not to write. I'll be talking about those things. So let's get started. Before knowing how to write a travelogue, we should know what is a travelogue. So what is a travelogue? I have prepared a definition for you. Number one, a piece of writing about travel. Which place you have traveled? What kind of place you have traveled? So you will be describing about that travel in writing form. Maybe you have traveled different places, and after coming back from the place, you describe to your parents, you describe to your friends, relatives in verbal. But now we are going to write it in written form. So it's a piece of writing about your travel. It's a narrated motion picture about travel. You write in such a way that when your readers read it, they get a picturized view in their minds. So we have to be very much specific, very much descriptive while describing our travelogue. So it's a detailed description of a journey, the place which you have visited. You have to write in detail. You have to give all the descriptions about your journey. So this is all about a travelogue. Now let's move on how to write it. Process of travelogue writing. First of all, before writing any creative writing, maybe it's an essay, maybe it's a poem, or maybe it's a travelogue. First of all, you have to prepare an outline. Without a rough sketch, if you start writing, there might be many errors, so editing part would be difficult. So to avoid that difficulty, you have to first prepare an outline. And in that outline, you have to determine what are the things you are going to write to make your travelogue an interesting one. And not only the outline, after writing outline, you have to give vivid descriptions about the historical and factual informations about the place, so that you can educate your readers on the costumes and traditions of the place you have visited. Because you know, our country Nepal is very rich in customs and traditions. We can describe very vividly about those customs, traditions, our nature, natural beauty, so that we can attract not only internal tourists, we can attract the external tourists as well. Now, I'm going to give you some tips how to write an excellent travelogue. So here goes some of the tips. Firstly, you have to describe the place in such a way that you do not miss out any information about the place. Suppose if you are describing Pokhara, then you have to describe how to get there, what are the different sites you can see over there, what are the different places you can go, everything about the place. Next is give a photographic description, in which it's about photos which you have clicked during the visit. You have to include those photographs of the places, so that it becomes more and more interesting for the people who read your travelogue. You have to highlight the various attractions, just like sometimes when you read the brochures, when you read the advertisements of some places, if there are written various attractive places, then people get more attracted, more appealing to go to that place, reach that place as soon as possible. They develop a strong feeling to reach over there. So this is very important. Mentioning the various attractive places of that destination is very important. Another thing, mention the ways and means to reach the destination. This is for the information that how to reach that place, what are the means of transportation which can lead you, which can take you towards the destination. So this is very important, informative thing for the readers. After that, I have another tip for you, that is name a few good hotels. You have to provide some of the information about the accommodation also, where to stay, because if you're going for the night stay, then of course you need hotels, lodges, homestays if it is a village. So you have to provide them plenty of recommendations about the accommodation, so that they can be prepared before reaching that place about where to stay. Next is mention some out of the way tourist attraction. You know, some people travel for many, many days. They love traveling, and they do not only go to one place. They like to go to many places at a time. So at that time, if you mention them some other places where they can go from the same spot, from the same destination, then they would more like your travelogue, because they get more information from your travelogue. Then we have give some cultural background. This we have already talked before, as Nepal has very rich diversities. We have natural beauties in our country. We have cultural and traditional important places. So it's better to describe about them, so the readers get attracted towards our places and towards the specific place which you are describing right now in your travel. And the last thing I have here is mention some do's and don'ts of the place. It means that what a person should do in a place. Suppose before I talked about Pokhara, and if a person goes to Pokhara and miss out boating in Fewa Lake, then how does a person might feel afterwards when he comes back? Isn't it? And another thing is, in the same place, Pokhara, let's talk about Pokhara itself. If it is a rainy season, because in Pokhara it rains a lot, if the person misses out an umbrella in his or her backpack, then it would be a trouble for him. So we have to mention all the do's and don'ts which we have experienced and which the local people tell about the place in our travelogue. So in this part, I'm going to halt right now because I know it's getting longer. So this much for now, and let's meet in the second part of travelogue.